few words.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to say a few words this afternoon. First and foremost, I'm going to give you some background from my perceptive viewpoint, if you will, from the police department. Russell's Point Police Department is a 3 full-time officer department. We cover 20 hours of every day because of the part-time status that we have. However, with part-time and auxiliary, we're able to fill in some of the other gaps. So we're almost completely full-time. Now, with that in mind, when I started here in 2003, I was an auxiliary officer, and Indian Lake had one main training ground for new officers, and that was this complex. Point Village Property Complex had anything from drug cases, sex crimes, burglaries, B&Es, thefts, plenty of things to learn your evidence collection on, plenty of things to learn, disabled disputes, so on and so forth. And it's been a crusade of mine since I took over as chief 7 years ago to change the community and the community's perception of itself back here. We have a lot of young residents who have now grown up and become successful and moved out of here, and that's because they almost needed permission to move on and be successful, that this wasn't some place that they were going to be for the rest of their life, that this was simply a place where they could get their feet underneath of them, get some stability, and move on. And they're deserving of that, and their kids were deserving of that. A lot of these kids come from a place where home life wasn't good. A few of them, a couple that still live here, are nothing short of miracles in themselves that they were able to get out of the home environment that they were at. So the bigger picture for properties like this is to allow children, sometimes young parents, to come someplace where it's safe, where the kids are safe, where the atmosphere is positive. And in short, this is exactly what the partners have done. The whole socioeconomic background may not change, but the society and this little, I guess you'd call it a microcosm, has changed significantly. And everybody here is very positive. There's an amazing change in what people expect. The residents no longer allow loud parties and just tolerate it. They no longer allow drinking outside in the property complex or drug sales to go on right outside their doors. They call us constantly, and you can ask Sergeant Fenwick, a lot of our calls have dropped off significantly because that whole attitude has changed. They have partnered with you, believe it or not, and are embracing the concept that this is a community environment and that they're going to allow their children to play outside without the fear of stepping on broken glass or any other problems that you may see. So I think everybody as a whole who partnered on this need to understand that it's a huge benefit to Russell's Point as a community, an even bigger benefit to those young children, the young families that are coming here looking for some type of escape from what they knew to what's here now. And I think there's some partnerships that are going to continue so that we can give those young families some skill sets that they badly need, as far as taking care of their children or home care. I know I've already heard a couple complaints that the apartments are brand new and a couple of them are trashed already. Unfortunately, those apartments that I walk into, I'll agree with you, yeah, they might be trashed, but I've also seen the homes where they came from, and it's not even close. They are trying. So with the partnerships that have been developed here with the police department, we're not out to look to arrest everybody, but we're not going to allow anything to go from this point forward that we allowed in the past. I'm hoping everybody here will partner with us in a zero-tolerance stance on drug use, alcohol use, parties. These folks, we're asking them and telling them, and if you've heard my spiel, the young men who come around and they try to date our moms and take advantage of their resources, I have absolutely no problem calling them out and saying, what are you doing here? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you should be working. I don't play politics when it comes to that. I'm not tactful. These guys need to be working, and thankfully, a couple of them joined in during the rehabilitation of these properties, and they were on the roofs, and they were tearing down drywall, and they were stripping wire out. So then and there, that whole aspect changed. I don't know if anybody else knew that as much as I did, but it was neat to see, guys up there on the roof that I've been lecturing, you need to get a job, you need to be helping, your baby's mama's out, and you guys put them to work. It's good for you. And I don't think that they're here now. I think they've gone on, a couple of them at least have gone on and either stayed with the employment that they were at, or at least had some skills that they could go on to other construction jobs. So with that in mind, If anybody has any questions, by all means, let us know. Again, zero tolerance is what we're looking for. We're working with Kim Wood, the property manager, to make sure that anybody that comes in here, that we either get no trespass orders to them. Most of us here know that a landlord can't dictate who a tenant can and cannot associate with, but she sure as heck can say who can be on the property. And we don't want drug dealers on the property. We don't need heroin needles out on our playground. We don't need drug sales going on. So anything and everything that you see as becoming an issue, we'll stop it right from the get-go, and we'll keep this. And I would love for Point Place or Point Village properties back here to become the poster child for what renewal should look like. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be around. Is that short and sweet? I have all kinds of stuff I could talk about. But thank you all.